So, here I am in a creaky van, driving into the heart of one of the many islands that make up my home of the Philippines. Not the metropolitan heart, but the deep, ever-present hills and mountains, the wilderness, the boonies, some might call it. The roads are indeed dirt, and we're going to visit the Aita community with some homemade food and some supplies after one of the many floods that happens during the wet season. Yeah, that's the weather in the Philippines in a nutshell, really. You got floods, or you got sunshine and humidity. How did we get here, though? Well, a few months back, when everyone was content slopping through Mr. Beast allegations, I thought it would be a good idea to use the proceeds that came from that to give back to the communities that are struggling in my local area. Some actual charity, you know? And indeed, my little community came out in force, donating a metric ton of pesos into our lap for the ReddX family community projects. Special thanks to everybody who donated even the least bit. In the spirit of their contribution, a portion of the proceeds from this video will be funneled into even more community projects, of course, and all of the super chats or super thanks will also go into the project. If you'd like something specific done, please let us know and we'll see what we can do with that. Thus began my family's endeavor to make good on our stream time promises. First, we started by buying all of the supplies for the goodie bags that we had planned, mostly comprised of foodstuffs. You know, it's pretty real out here in the Philippines a lot. And a daily meal is not necessarily a guarantee. Maybe you get some rice with salt on it, or rice with coffee on it, or rice with oil on it. If we're lucky, we get some meat or some crackers in there. And so we bought sardines and noodles and rice and really anything we could think of that would survive the constant heat and humidity out this way. So, as you'll often see, I am sweating while my wife is literally wearing a hoodie. The world truly is a rich tapestry. Now, in most of the Western markets, you'd be able to find some paper bowls or plastic silverware basically anywhere you buy food. Out here, you gotta find a stall that sells those things specifically and pick them up, and I'm just glad that lady back there knows what she's looking for. We got spices, we got disposable silverware, rubber bands, bamboo skewers, which is why this is my favorite stall in the Philippines. This is the only stall that can fill my need for more rainbow rubber bands for my growing collection of rubber band balls. If you haven't seen it yet, you will. Don't worry. It's in the making. Anyway, from there, we go home, and my wife's whole extended family and friends donated their time to help us make these goodie bags. Big ups to her and her family for helping out and donating to this project, which, of course, I feel truly blessed to be a part of. It starts with separating everything into neat, orderly piles. I think we were trying to make the flag of the Philippines with all the colors, but yeah, we didn't really have enough colors. Would have been nice, really cool for the thumbnail, but oh well. It still looks pretty cool regardless. Of course, we then immediately have to ruin these orderly rows by cramming everything into the bags. Just a reminder that, you know, entropy is the natural state of the universe. Don't think too much about all that. Just enjoy the decline, and maybe do something nice in the meantime. Next thing we had to do was make the lugaw. Well, what is lugaw? It's basically a big rice porridge, a traditional food of the Philippines. My wife prepared it in a giant pot, which we acquired from the barangay, which is like the local government for towns around here. I, of course, am not a politician. They are allegedly important to local goings-on, but what I really want to talk about is the rice porridge. You know, because I am an uncultured giant Amerimut. My wife, she throws in the spices and the chickens and the rice and, I don't know, other stuff I don't really understand because, you know, I'm a dude. And into this behemoth pot goes some water, and it turns somehow into a delicious stew over time. I can't explain it. She did have help from the others in the preparation, of course. And as a giant male Amerimut, I really don't belong anywhere near a kitchen. Fun fact about the tip of this knife, it's missing. And the intruder that my wife used it on got to keep it, I suppose. Like I said, it gets real out here in the Philippines. But that's mostly a joke, though. Then came the day of our formal excursion into the jungles of the Philippines for this cookout with the group of native Aita people. So who indeed are the Aita people? Well, they are the natives of the Philippines. Those who didn't quite integrate into Spanish society. When the Spaniards decided to come and attempt to gentrify the Philippines, while also plundering any valuable resources they could find, it really does speak to their strength as a people, considering how, heavy-handed the Spaniards could be during those imperial days. They are a really fascinating group of people, honestly. If you're interested in learning more, please head to your local library, or more likely, the internet that's right in front of you, and look it up. Research it to your heart's content, but after this video, please. You'll also notice that we had some help from these gentlemen in a more formal attire. These are Mormons from the nearby church, and they're pretty decent dudes. I personally am not so religious, but I am interested in anyone who's down to help people out, especially when said people have it much worse than they themselves. The local Mormons, always happy to lend a hand, so, big ups to them as well. So, with the people and the things all assembled, we haul out our giant pot, provided by the barangay, who also donated this giant creaky van. And we bring out the goodie bags, and after meeting with the community, we decide to start doling out some of this food. Everyone also gets an egg. Can I offer you an egg during this trying time? It is something also that often comes with this type of lugaw. You gotta put something in a rice porridge, right? Eggs are also the perfect food, of course. There's all the junk that my gross human body needs. And I rubbed this egg on my head for some dumb reason, and this woman noticed, and then I gotta toss that egg and give her another one. I was just trying to offer her a little extra salt, I'm a sweaty man. We gotta make some use of this stuff. I'm so glad my wife is here, of course, because, again, uncultured Amerimut here, and I really have no idea what I'm doing. I will keep saying that, too. It's hard to explain how out of time and place you feel here if you come from the West. This is a community, surrounded by nature, and when the river rises, it doesn't just soak your feet. No, it comes up to say hello with a vengeance. The river is the lifeblood here. It would be infeasible to ask these people to not be near it because it's where basically everything comes from. This is about as close to living in harmony with nature as a person where I am can be. It's just a very different and humbling vibe. Maybe they have it more right than I do. After bellies were full and care packages were handed out, we decided it was time to do another stupid Mr. Beast type of thing, and that was children's games for prizes. We did an egg toss, Simon Says, Bring Me, which is like a giant scavenger hunt, and a few other games. We passed out our rewards and headed home. At the end of it all, what can I really say? It's a humbling experience to see how these people live. Coming back home to see my kids lounging in the air conditioning in the house that I have, the little bit of luxury that I've carved out for myself. It hits really different, man. It really makes you think about all the things that you have, and the feeling of helping others is one of life's unique treasures. It feels good, but you always wish that there's more that you could do. You wonder if that's a life that you could ever feasibly live. You wonder if maybe it truly is better out there. And then you think of all the modern things that basically just make life livable. You think about McDonald's, and then you decide, I can't give up my double quarter pounder. Come on, man. In my next community project, I will be taking these people to a McDonald's. Again, I'm a giant Amerimut who really doesn't have much idea of anything, but if you're somehow surprised that that is the thought that crossed my mind, well, I don't know how to help you. You should expect these things. I want to end this by saying my wife and I came up with this together. I do my best to engage in the culture and the customs here. I speak a bit of the language. I'm not a tourist or some sort of Southeast Asia maxer. This is my home now. And I think the best thing that you can do in life is to help your local community. Some might view this video and be like, oh, it's poverty tourism. They might call me a dollar store Mr. Beast. I don't care. I did all of this out of a desire to help people, and maybe dunk on Mr. Beast's supposed charity work as well. It was a desire to get to know my surroundings better and immerse myself in the fringe realities of this country that I call home. It's hard work, man, but it's worthwhile to do it. The smiles on their faces stick with me to this day. Something to mix it up and help them have a little fun in what might otherwise be a rather monotonous life. We did take him to McDonald's a week later. Spoilers, which, yeah, that's probably the opposite of helping, actually. But it didn't require much organization. They did the whole thing. And Grimace showed up. We are putting solar-powered lights in their homes as well, and then we're going to get them some proper toilets. We're working on getting them a lot of things, and of course it's not the easiest thing logistically out there, because just getting back to the village, it could be a pretty wild trip. Half of the road is missing. My car can't make it. We've got to take a tricycle. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed what I was able to showcase here today. I will state again that all super chats and super thanks will go to funding more projects to help the Aita people in my area live just a little bit more comfortably. If you made it this far into the video, thanks for coming on this journey with me, and I hope to see you in the next one. If you'd like to support the channel, even outside of these projects, then Patreon or YouTube memberships are a great way to do that. We've got a fourth wall if you're looking for some merch. Oh, lots of good stuff there. But regardless of your ability to monetarily support, I do hope that you will share the video around. And even if you don't do that, don't sweat it, man. I just want you to remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.